Yeah, you look good from both sides. Yeah, it doesn't really matter at all.
You have George Slopadopoulos, I don't know if you've ever... And I had 7 people, maybe. A lot of people, a lot of very big people on top of me within seconds.
By the way, Mr. Trump.
Yeah, you got the grills on.
I like that, hey.
We're gonna get some good ratings. Everyone thought this was gonna be fake today, but you know, we proved them wrong.
Yeah, you read the title correctly. I do not believe America is a real place. I feel like it was a country made up by people to make other countries feel better, because we have recently just had the collab of the century, and that is Adin Ross meeting Donald Trump.
We're gonna get some good ratings. Everyone thought this was gonna be fake today, but you know, we proved them wrong.
Adin Ross, of course, being an incredibly worldwide celebrity, most known for having to Google what the definition of fascist was.
What does a fascist mean? It means you are a far-right authorization on you on.
Or that one time where he sniffed Andrew Tate's seat as he was leaving.
Where are you going?
Or constantly promoting gambling to his incredibly young audience. I think one of my favorite escapades of Adin Ross, apart from this recent Trump collab, is the time where Andrew Tate was trying to flee Romania, and he accidentally snitched on him live on stream, leading to the police to arrest him.
My announcement is, Andrew had hit me up. He said, hey, I'm going to be leaving Romania soon and probably never coming back.
Now, to no one's surprise, with the upcoming American election, some candidates are trying to, you know, be down with the kids. They're trying to be hip. They're trying to be cool. They're interacting with people on Twitch, TikTok. I'm pretty sure you all saw Joe Biden when he had a TikTok before he probably fell down the stairs for the 7th time. And I'm pretty sure you all remember that viral meme that Joe Biden posted, which he definitely did post, and it wasn't just like some 12-year-old that got access to his account. Now, going as far back to like the 1970s, young voters really don't turn out to vote. And the thing is, it's the same as like the UK and like any other country. You get like people that are my age in their 20s or even younger, and they are so vocal. You know, they'll be there on Twitter like, we need to change this. We need to abolish this. But then when it comes to the day of voting, no one turns out because they're too busy playing Roblox or basically venting on their private Twitter. Usually in most countries, the vote comes down to the old people. So in the UK, for example, if you want people to vote, usually you just bombard Facebook with a bunch of ads. That's the exact reason why Brexit barely passed in the UK, because they basically started to bombard old people with Facebook ads saying that, you know, they're going to lose all their land or their property, when in reality, all it really did is cook our country back 100 years. And now, like, getting to other countries in Europe is even harder. I've said this before. Like, I travel to Sweden pretty frequently, certified Sweeaboo, but it is hell to get in that country now, because you got to join the queue of basically all the people that aren't from Europe, and that queue is usually 5 times as longer as the EU queue. It's funny after Brexit, because I noticed that every European country I've gone into, they really check your passport over. Usually they just look, whatever, name, stamp. But now, like, I think one of the times I went to, like, I think it was, they asked me how much money I made. And it's like, you don't need to know that. So I basically just lied to the guy, and I was like, oh, I cleared 2 billion last year. I'm a YouTuber, by the way. I mess around with stocks. The guy immediately believed me, stamped my passport, and let me in. So before we jump into the Orange Man situation, which I'd love to title the video that, by the way. The Orange Man situation is insane. But as we talked about, Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, fall down the stairs Joe, who recently was in the, I was in the foothills of the Himalayas. With Xi Jinping. I don't know that for a fact.
I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I guess we traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact.
Obviously, we know that he can't run for president anymore. He basically signed off on a letter. He wrote it himself, saying that he's not competent to be president. I mean, it kind of sucks because, like, you know, 10 years ago, you could see Joe Biden and he was, like, you know, quick as a whippet, like his brain was there. But, you know, too much sleeping, not enough moving, his brain melted. And obviously, without Sleepy Joe, we now have Kamala Harris. And she's basically been announced as the new presidential Democratic nominee.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context.
Now, I don't really know much about Kamala Harris, apart from the fact of that one video where Joe Biden wins and she goes, "We did it, Joe. We did it. Yay.
We did it. We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States."
Now, she's tried to, like, hook onto the Zoomers, like, by attaching herself to Charlie XCX. Now, she put out a tweet basically saying that Kamala is brat, and that is a great thing to latch onto because at the minute, Charlie XCX with her album Brat is like clearing everything. I'll be honest, bro, I never listened to a single song that she made, but somehow, like, you know how bad my music taste is, right? I basically only listen to like Drain Gang, cloud rap garbage, but like, she even was clever enough to do a collab with Young Lean, and because of that, I actually listened to like one other song she made called 365, and that's it. But that's a really good song. Oh, and believe me, I do love opening TikTok and seeing like some random 22-year-old being like, oh, we're so sick of this music, guys. Oh my god, it's everywhere. Guys, you don't know real music. You don't listen to Neutral Milk Hotel or Mumford & Sons, guys. Oh my god. I swear you've got these types of people on TikTok that just sort on Spotify like something that has like less than 1,000 listeners a month and then latch onto it like it's their secret club. So she's already got Charlie XCX under her belt, who's probably one of the most popular artists in the world right now. By the way, a little side note on Charlie XCX, which I find absolutely hilarious. I found like a bunch of teenagers on TikTok that are absolutely mind broken that woman does drugs. Isn't like the lyrics to every single one of her songs bumping that? What do you think that means? And then Carmella went to the next step and did a collab with Megan Thee Stallion. That was a performance at her Atlanta rally, and they did a TikTok together. Of course they did.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Megan Thee Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States.
No, I do find it a little bit cringe how they're doing the whole, like, you know, the future president's here. Because, like, I mean, if you want to support her, you go for it, bro. But, like, if anything to me, I'm kind of getting PTSD flashbacks to 7 years ago when Hillary Clinton put out this tweet saying, happy birthday to this future president. Did she win? No? Unlucky. Also, I want to give an honorable mention to the I'm just chilling at Cedar Rapids.
I'm just chilling in Cedar Rapids.
You know what's crazy? Like, the average TikTok Zoomie will have no idea who Hillary Clinton even is, which is terrifying. Oh, Travis Scott? You mean the guy from Fortnite? So obviously, Trump saw this. He saw that Carmella, his biggest opposition, is engaging with all the Zoomers, and he thought, oh, we gotta do that. We gotta talk to the Zoomers. I love Zoomers. Now, to be fair, a lot of political candidates in the past have done stuff like this, but nothing this extreme. I mean, like this whole kind of like appearing on streams and TikToks. Usually it's like a podcast or something a bit more nuanced. I mean, a good example is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC. Everyone calls her AOC. I'm not really sure what she does, but she played Among Us with Corpse Husband.
AOC?
What? I didn't call it.
How's your day?
That's real, by the way. I don't know why I remember that. I swear, like, I'm not going to remember my wife's face, but I'll just remember, like, a politician playing Among Us with Cope Husband. Now, AOC would collab with a lot of streamers, basically, you know, doing things like playing Among Us, but then also trying to get them to vote as well. Now, Trump has done similar things. I actually remember, I think around a year ago, he actually appeared on a podcast with the Nelk Boys. I don't really watch Nelk Boys, honestly, but one of the main guys, Kyle, he just kind of looks like he was grown in the same vat as Steve-O. Holy gummy when he smiles. But more recently, they actually did an episode with the newly announced vice president, who's an Ohio senator, J.D. Vance. Now, Trump thought to himself, that's great and all, you know, we got the Nelk boys, we got the people in their 20s, but what about the young voters? What about the people that can't even vote yet? We need to, you know, get into the minds of the youth and make sure that they vote for me, vote for Donald Trump. And then he thought to himself, oh my god, Adin Ross. Now, to begin the stream, Trump talked about some pretty normal things, like, for example, his assassination attempt, his policies, and his thoughts on Kamala Harris, as well as some uplifting stories on what he thinks about Adin Ross and the Nelk Boys. This was all while when Donald Trump made his appearance, they started playing Many Men by 50 Cent. Better watch how you talk when you talk about me. Did you notice how I kind of paused for a second before saying the name of the artist? I'm that scared of having a Metro's Booming situation that I genuinely have to like triple read everything I say now. Oh, he didn't say 50 Cent. We're canceling him. We're canceling him. Now, along with his usual campaign spiel, he had some pretty interesting remarks about Carmella. He also went on to say why he doesn't like ABC News and basically refuses to do an interview with them, believing them to be incredibly biased.
And she came across, you know, she's with ABC Fake News, which is one of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible.
Also flat out saying that schools are brainwashing children to become dirty, disgusting liberals.
The corruption in the school system, in a way, you know, they're teaching some pretty bad stuff in there.
It's been brainwashed to a certain extent. Even the teachers have been brainwashed. They've learned from a long time. This is long before me. this liberal way, or now they call it progressive. They don't like the term liberal. You're not allowed to use that anymore, so I usually use it.
Apparently as well, Carmela is against saying Merry Christmas.
I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry
Good,
Christmas.
and
too.
you know, Kamala doesn't.
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow.
She thinks it's insulting to use Merry Christmas, so we'll have to work on her.
And the fact that Carmela had Megan Thee Stallion twerking at her campaign rally.
She had a rapper speak, and then she had a rapper twerk at a rally. Yeah. A rapper was twerking at a rally.
Nobody's going to want to watch her, and nobody does want to watch. Now, at least there's a little bit of curiosity. But
And he genuinely thinks that Carmela is dumber than Joe Biden, which, like, out of all the things that he said, that one's probably the biggest stretch.
But she's she's worse than he is. I actually think he's smarter than her, and I think he's a really not smart person. But I think he's smarter than she is.
Now, you would think because Trump is having, you know, like Adin Ross on, and he's probably been informed that the viewers are like a younger age, he might try to, you know, kind of indoctrinate them in a slower way. But no, he just goes on like straight into conspiracy theories. He even talks at one point basically saying that Joe Biden stepping down was part of a coup.
He made the decision to step down.
No, he was not only pushed out, it was a coup. I'm telling you.
And also how he had a lot of big people on top of him while getting assassinated.
And I had 7 people, maybe, a lot of people, a lot of very big people on top of me within seconds.
He also goes on to call George Stephanopoulos as George, and I'm not making this up, Slopatopoulos.
You have George Slopadopoulos. I don't know if you know him.
Now, I don't really follow politics that much. Again, brave statements only on this channel. But the fact that Donald Trump actually gave a shout out to PyroLive, that is insane. And basically his entire message throughout the stream is he's happy that he can kind of like, you know, talk about politics on a live stream and openly endorse a candidate, you know, versus like traditional news outlets.
Everyone that's watching, everyone behind, just know that your vote really does matter. And you guys really have a big decision coming up in November. You guys gotta really go out there and vote. Vote for the right person, which is him.
Wow, that's come in.
Do a little alley-oop there.
You know, it's funny that you do it, but now I know why you're so popular, because I've been on for years with people that really do like me, and they're even fair to me and everything else, but they wouldn't do what you just, they wouldn't say, vote for him, you know. They do, they're short of that. They wouldn't do it, and they vote for me, but they wouldn't say it.
Now, you can tell that this is a relationship where both parties benefit. Much like how you have the crocodile and the plover. The plover is this bird that will fly into a crocodile's mouth and eat all the little bits that it can't get. This stops the crocodile's mouth from rotting, and in return, it doesn't eat the plover, and the plover gets free food. And the situation here is pretty similar, because Donald Trump wants to get as many Zoomies to vote for him as possible, and Adin Ross basically wants to clip farm for 2 hours. So after chatting for a bit, Adin wants to flex on Donald Trump and gives him a Rolex watch.
But I did get you a gift, and I got you this gift because, look, you are, I feel like you constantly get beat on, but you're so strong, and I hope you like watches, Rolexes.
Wow. Oh, that's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Oh, should I show that to the audience?
Yeah, they can see it.
Which is incredible, by the way. Like, you gave probably one of the richest men on the entire planet a Rolex, and I know that this is going to be like a Succession bit. Like, could you imagine giving someone so rich a Rolex watch and they kind of look at it like, ugh. Brother, brother, it's not even a Richard Mille watch. So Trump accepts the gift. We're not going to call it a bribe, okay? We're not going to call it a bribe. We're going to call it a gift. And then he basically goes on to say again how amazing Adin Ross is and how amazing the Nelk boys are. And then he makes a really weird comparison, basically saying how like people care more if you make appearances on like Full Send, which is Nelk Boys, you know, podcast, or Adin Ross's stream in comparison to a talk show like 60 Minutes. Now, after the gift, Adin thought to himself, all right, it's time to be a bit of a React Andy. So he'd watch videos with Trump of various political figures asking to summarize them in a single word. And he said, Adin Ross is great. Great person. I can't hate Adin Ross. I love Adin Ross. I love the people. Trump as a patriot. Joe Rogan as interesting, which is like, that is the most like fence-sitting thing. That's like when you make a YouTube video and you put like situation in the title, which is something I've done, by the way. I'm fully guilty of that. Dana White as a fighter. Elon Musk is a genius. Kanye West is complicated. And he calls AOC just fake. But then he changes his answer to spark, apparently due to like how much passion she has.
One word would be outstanding. Patriot.
Joe Rogan.
Interesting. He really is. He's an amazing guy. He's a very interesting guy.
Mr. White.
Oh, well, he's a fighter. Elon, a genius, truly a genius. Let's say complicated. fake, but in all fairness, look, but she knows it. But there's a certain something she's got. She's got a spark. I'll change it. I'll say spark.
And then on top of that as well, Trump goes on this weird rant basically saying like if he was president, the Israel-Palestine conflict never would have happened. Now, towards the end of the stream, something big happened. Something that everyone on TikTok will clip, and even though it happened for about 15 seconds, they'll somehow milk it to 1 minute to get the ad revenue. And this is probably the most viral part of the entire stream. The second gift that Adin Ross gave to Donald Trump is infamous. It was basically a Tesla Cybertruck. You know, the same Cybertruck that Elon Musk threw a ball at and it shattered the window.
Oh my fucking god. Maybe that was a little too hard.
Now, this Tesla was wrapped with Donald Trump's presidential campaign on it. It basically showed Trump holding up his fist after the assassination attempt. And to make the moment even more viral, XQC turned up, who seems to be like everywhere, by the way, but not actually doing anything. Any viral moment that happens on streaming, he just always seems to be there, but not actually having really any input.
X, come on outside with the truck.
Come on?
Yeah. By the way, do you like my buddy Felix's shirt?
I love that.
Felix, by the way, Mr. Trump.
That's fantastic. Wow. Yeah, you got the grills on.
Also, I want to give a shout out to the Pyrocynical subreddit. That place is an absolute cesspit sometimes, but somehow someone actually confused XQC with me, thinking that I met President Trump. But yeah, XQC went to say hi to Donald Trump, and he was wearing a shirt with Donald Trump's face on it. The stream then transitions to Trump and Adin basically sat in the Cybertruck together. And then they basically just listened to music. By the way, this stream has so much copyright music, it's unreal. I feel like this was a deterrent to stop channels talking about it. Adin is basically saying that this is the best stream he's ever done and tries to like coax Donald Trump out of the car so they can like they do a little dance together. Also, kind of bizarrely, at one point, Trump basically says, you know, to get the Zoomer vote, you know, he's like, if I become president, I will never ban TikTok. TikTok will be around forever. I love TikTok. I love China, Chinese people, I love them, good people. But the ironic thing is, like, that ban that was coming for TikTok in America was basically started when he was president back in 2020.
Check out this rap and let me know your honest thoughts.
I think it's incredible. That's look at the playlist, huh?
This is your playlist.
It's a good, yeah.
I want to step out the car, blast the music, and dance. Because I just had the best stream ever. You were right. You called it right before. What did you... You called me in the room and you said, watch, we're going to have the most hits ever.
I'll tell you about TikTok. Trump is going to keep TikTok going.
Now, that was the entire stream. So why is the video not over? Because a lot of people started to do some digging after the stream, and they realized that Adin Ross might have accidentally committed a crime. I'll be honest, Adin Ross is playing like 4D chess with everyone. This is the same guy that pretends to do coke off camera just so people clip farm him. Now, according to the Federal Election Commission, the maximum amount that one individual can donate to a candidate is $3,300 per election. And all I'm going to say is, brave statement incoming, a Rolex watch and a custom wrapped Tesla Cybertruck probably goes over $3,300. I mean, Cybertrucks go from anywhere from like 93K to like 120K. And then Reddit detectives enhanced the Rolex that Adin gave Trump, and it looks like a day-date 40 model, and they go for around $43,000 brand new. Now, there could be some serious legal trouble if Trump like chooses to accept these. And again, I'm getting into a lot of jargon here, but apparently, according to the FEC, the Trump campaign would hypothetically have 60 days to determine what to do with the gifts, and are supposedly seeking opinion from the FEC how to handle said gifts. Now, how can this be bad for Adin? I mean, while he's, again, probably pretending to do drugs off of camera so people clip him, he could be possibly facing civil penalties. And that could happen if Trump doesn't, like, outright deny the gifts and, like, return them, basically. I'll be honest, if it does come to that, I can easily see Trump, you know, returning the gifts, and Adin basically has his clip farming money, so it's basically a win-win anyway. But again, all of this just shows to me how cooked America is. Like, I don't care personally if you're a lefty or a righty. I just think like how supercharged this live stream was. It really shows that like you have a lot of old people in power, and they're trying so hard to grab the attention of basically people in their 20s and even younger. And obviously they can't do that with traditional news, because I personally in the UK, I don't know anyone that watches day-to-day news on the TV apart from like my parents pretty much. No one does that anymore. They get their information from online. So we're probably going to see more stuff like this happen more and more frequently. Now, how will Kamala Harris respond to this? She will simply play Among Us VR. You know what? Honestly, okay. I was about to do like a bit and end the video. If Kamala Harris somehow managed to pull Corpse Husband out of retirement after his face got leaked and get him to play Among Us with her, I'm not joking you. Like, everyone on Twitter would end up voting for her. There we go. Kamala Harris. Hire me, please. Like Jesus, man. I just gave you way to easy get in, easy White House speed run any percent.